Information Station 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. You know, there's probably no better time during the year when gardens and food come together than on Thanksgiving. Carol Ann Baldwin is in the studio. This is a show called In the Garden with Carol Ann, and if you have anything you want to talk to Carol Ann about, it's fine if you call about food, because Carol Ann does have culinary information in her brain also. 622-9622 is the number. As always, good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you doing?
We missed you last week.
Yeah, I was doing a bunch of training and learning my new jobs, stuff, all that fun stuff.
Do you have any wish list for Thanksgiving? Something you've never done on Thanksgiving that you said, oh gosh, I always wanted to do this.
On Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah.
No, not
things
really.
Other people do, maybe. Nothing at all.
Oh, I don't know. No, not really. Not too much.
I always wanted to hold the string on one of the big balloons.
On one of the big balloons in like the Macy's Day Parade or something like that? Wow. That would have been cool. That actually probably would have been
Just hold the string.
Just hold the string. No, I was in the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade. I was telling you, you had anecdotes. You guys had anecdotes about the Thanksgiving Day dinner kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was in high school, and we were like the very first, and I don't know if any others have done it since then, or at that time, one and only high school that actually had a float in the parade.
Okay.
There's high school marching bands.
In Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia.
Wow, that's big time.
It was, I mean, we got invited, and it was our high school and my sister high school, and built the float, and we were Queen of Hearts, I think, was the theme through, and so we,
Was it cold?
Yes, it was very cold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're putting long johns underneath tights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you doing?
At
Were you
4
walking?
a.m. I was walking. Yeah. I wasn't one.
How far was it? A couple miles?
That? Yeah, it's a several mile, and I mean, you were there at setup at like 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
The lineup occurs that early, but. The whole thing is, that's a Thanksgiving Day parade, and the parade's done, and you're figuring you're coming home, and you're just, you're thinking about that turkey dinner.
Yeah.
You're thinking of that hot gravy, that steaming mashed potatoes, and that. And when you get home, and the family already ate. Because Thanksgiving dinner falls at halftime or between football games or however it was.
No.
And of course she says, well, did you guys see me in the parade? And they go, no, they never watched the parade.
No.
But it was still fun. It's still a fond memory.
So at the best, you would have had like an 8mm movie, because there was really no videos.
No real video. And at least it was pre the microwave oven. I guess some people had them. We didn't yet. So it was have to warm the gravy on the stove and warm your mashed potatoes up on the stove. And so that was...
Oh, man. That's crazy. Okay.
It was.
You do have a phone call. Let's
Great.
go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann. First things first, happy Thanksgiving to you and
Thank you.
Larry, Robin, and everybody at WOCA.
Thank you.
I have a problem with the dirt being washed away. I tried sand, I did everything, and no matter what, it winds up in the culvert.
Okay.
Now, the culvert is lined on both sides, like a cement.
Okay.
To finish it off.
Right.
And right along where the cement goes down to the bottom part of the culvert, it's on an angle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't seem to keep anything there. I don't want to I don't want it to undermine the cement and cause cracks or anything.
Sure. This is under the driveway?
Excuse me?
This is under the skirting of the driveway?
Culvert, yes, goes under the driveway.
And it's just every time it rains hard, so the yard is sloped down towards that, obviously to take stormwater off.
The yard is relatively level, but there is a swale there. And
okay,
the
right.
Culvert is there to allow the driveway to make it to the street.
Sure. And so it's washing out around that concrete, both on the street side and the landscape and the yard side?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know whether or not you could try an edging or planting a ground cover there, except it kind of makes an odd location to try to, do just putting, something that's got a larger, a heavier duty root system than, say, turf does, using something like junipers or the jasmines, the ground cover jasmines, where they have such intense.
There is a problem there where do too much anything around there. The county doesn't like you to plant anything around these culverts
because they're maintaining it.
The water flow.
Right, because they're maintaining it. I don't think you're going to really get a big issue with what rainwater's coming through is undermining it so much, and causing a problem with a driveway with a failure of that, or your driveway collapsing in, that apron collapsing in or anything. I guess it's more aesthetics is what you're...
No, I'm afraid of cracks and everything forming under the driveway because it is undermining all the way up to the driveway. And my thought, the latest thing I've been trying is the more or less like a topsoil with seed in it.
Right.
Because the grass grows, but it's being undermined, and it sinks.
I was going to say, it sounds like, because of edging, taking an edger down along the driveway and that, it's kind of a tough deal because the turf, if it's growing right up there against the side, the driveway, it should be holding that sand in. I'm not, it sounds as if somehow or another it's getting up underneath there. It's probably not really coming out from under your driveway. It may just be coming out of the turf, out of the grass that maybe annually, you may need to put. I'm not a fan of topsoil going across the lawn, but something like the sand or like a black velvet, black cow kind of thing, going across something that's weed-free in the turf to add a little more structure to the soil that the grass is growing in, giving those roots a better hold. But your grass roots should be deep enough to be holding everything in place. If the edging's going too deep along the side of the driveway, I think the edging is what needs to be adjusted, is how much edging is going on, or maybe putting the steel edging or another edging type material down, steel or composite, where you can put that down in the ground, keeping and allowing that maybe to stick up, say an inch or half an inch, to keep your grass from growing across the driveway.
Right. Well, anyway, I just thought you had some other suggestions. I've even put sod down, but the roots get undermined by the water, and the sod dies, and all I got is a mass laying there.
Right,
so
right.
Now I'm back to. I'm going to try this like topsoil.
Right.
The cheap stuff naturally, but
sure.
So far, I'm trying to give that a whirl, see what happens.
Right. That's about the only thing you can do. That's a tough way to go on that, trying to figure out how to keep that from washing out when you can't change what's planted. If anybody else, if it was private property, or not with an HOA or the county, if it was your own private, driveway where it's not maintained elsewhere, you might be able to change what's planted there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is it takes away from the look of grass to me, having that stuff right around it.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but anyway,
depends on
the
what
thing
you go
is you don't obstruct
Right, those
water
culverts at the
flow.
counties. Yep.
So, as a matter of fact, when I did the cement job, they came out and made the swale between the driveway and my neighbor's next driveway nice and deep. So it's like a roller coaster when you
Right.
go across the mowed lawn.
Right,
Real real pain in the caboose, in other words.
Sure. Well, wish I could offer you some more solutions there, Sonny.
Oh, I just thought maybe you had a little better idea than I'm coming up with.
Nope.
Anyway, other than the plans, thank you very much, and again, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too,
Thank you
Sonny.
so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. All right, we will take a little break. We'll be right back. If you want to be on the show, remember this is a full hour show, so we've got 45 minutes left. Plenty of time for you to chat with Carol Ann. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, sunshine and becoming a bit warmer, the high 72 to 76. Mainly clear Tuesday night, those ranging from the 50s inland to 62 along the coast. Wednesday will be a nice day with sunshine and some clouds. However, there may be a shower in spots right at the coast, the high 75 to 79. And for Thanksgiving Day, sunshine mixed with clouds, high 77 to 81. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. It's a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Howdy, folks. For over 4 decades, we at Dairy Queen have been proud to serve our customers with the finest and freshest cook-to-order, quick-service comfort foods in the world. For instance, our new Philly steak and cheese sandwiches with grilled peppers and onions on an artisan focaccia bread bun. So steaming hot and yummy you won't believe it. We also added seasoned potato skins filled with queso cheese and bacon. Wow, they're tasty. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
FlySanford.com. Orlando Sanford International Airport. We are SFB. Simpler, faster, better.
Visiting friends and family or just looking for some fun? Book your vacation now to one of their nonstop destinations, including Amsterdam, Brussels, Mexico City, San Juan, as well as over 70 domestic destinations, including New Orleans.
For enjoyable travel, come to Orlando Sanford International Airport. We are SFB. Simpler, faster, better. Before you fly, FlySanford.com.
We all know the importance of good health, but we may not know the latest advances in medicine. In Paraiso, our roving medical reporter, to tell us about Seven Hill Gastroenterology PA and Dr. Reddy. We'll discuss screening, techniques, and more. So tune in and listen. This is more than news you can use. It's news that could save your life. That's Monday at 9:05 a.m.
All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. It was 38 degrees when I got here, or actually when we got on the air, I should say, at 7 o'clock. Now it's 53 degrees. So warming up nice, huh?
Warming up, turning into another beautiful day.
It is another beautiful. It looks like Thanksgiving is going to be beautiful. Did you go to Light Up, Carol?
No, I didn't.
It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Just, I love it. I'm always exhausted at the end of the thing.
Oh, sure. Well, you all are there all day long.
But it's just a beautiful day.
It is, and we're having a wonderful fall. I mean, anybody who says that, Central Florida doesn't have seasons isn't paying attention.
Well, they haven't lived here.
They haven't lived here. I mean, these last October, early November, we've had seasonable weather here.
Yeah.
This is, to those of us who've lived here for any extended time, these mornings are cold.
I welcome.
And even I think to those who are from up north, you have to admit that 37 degrees is quite chilly.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sure.
I mean, even if you go, all right, well, it's going to be 53 degrees by 9:30 in the morning. It's I don't need my coat. Well, those of us who live here for a while, yes, we do.
All right, we have the phone ringing. Let's take a wow. We got a lot of phone calls. We'll do one at a time. Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann, Larry.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, it was cool. You know, it's been a funny year. We had a very hot summer. In September and October, we're way above normal. I was air conditioning up to about maybe 2 weeks ago, and then no frost on the roof or anything. And all of a sudden, bang! A killing frost or freeze.
No,
and, I was down to 30 degrees Monday morning, and this morning I was at 33. But it came fast and hurry, and it surprised a lot of people because it wasn't really warned. It wasn't really made public that it was going to be a freeze until it was too late. And because I know in my neighborhood here, I have a lot of people that cover stuff up, and it just came so fast that I think they lost a lot of vegetation. But that's the way it goes. It was just like I'd call it surprise attack by Mr. Winter.
Yeah, I don't think it was widespread enough to have really made much of a mention. It's pockets. It's certain areas that are a little bit colder that are the only ones that got down to 30. You know,
right.
I'm looking at the 35 that yesterday morning, and
I had to shave the ice off my wife's windshield parked on the driveway yesterday morning, and my bird bath not only yesterday was frozen over on the top, but this morning. And I had to crack it open and put some lukewarm water in it. But
wow.
So incidentally, the birds are coming back.
Right.
I think they got used to the color, or maybe I put a little sign under the bird bath saying free water. So maybe they read that and decided to come in.
Could be. Well, good. I'm glad they're back. Back.
But like I said earlier, it was a surprise early killing freeze. For us, and it looks like the rest of the week is going to be more normal. But it's surprising how fast that can turn like that. You know, we just went from 80 a couple of days ago to like 30 in the morning now. You know,
right.
That's the way it is.
But like I said, with the temperatures we've had, any frost or anything like that was. It's a light frost. Our lowest temperatures didn't happen until probably 6 a.m. When the sun's beginning to come up. So it doesn't last that long. If anything was watered in the landscape, it should survive. It should not have been killing frost or anything unless it was a summer annual. Those are meant to die, and they were meant to die a few weeks ago. As I say, our first expected frost date. People should begin to expect a frost by the 15th of November. So today's the 22nd. So we had our first possible frost or anything on the call it the 21st, those nights, and into the 21st, 22nd mornings. It's not early. It's not something that shouldn't be paid attention to. And I think all the weather reports, we're all crying. We're getting that cold front coming through. And they meant it this time.
Yeah, but there was never any killing freeze warning, though.
I actually did have a freeze warning come through on my phone as an alert on the temperatures. But like I said, freeze. It was such a light freeze. I mean, anything probably happened really, really quick.
Yeah. I watch the Weather Channel quite a bit, and they continue to advertise December, January, February, winter as above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation down here in the southeast.
Oh,
so they're sticking with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
watch. Watch your weather.
Dry, winter.
Yeah, I think. Well, we've entered another one of those cycles that happens every so many years that we end up with several dry seasons in a row. And this past summer we didn't get a lot of rain even out of the tropical storms, the hurricanes that came through. We just didn't get much from it. We just have to be careful with fire in your landscape. If you're in your yard, if you're having a fire Thanksgiving afternoon to sit around, and enjoy that evening, be careful with it. Be careful where those embers go from your charcoal. You're lighting that. You've lit the fireplace in the house because it's the first cold season, first cold snap. Make sure your roof's cleaned off of leaves. Make sure whatever around the home is cleaned out. Don't let vines grow up your trees and travel travel from tree to tree. That's a ladder for fire to travel on. We've had a fire out over by Mill Dam the other day. Had a friend have to actually, if she could have waited it out a little longer, she actually had to miss a day of work because the smoke was so thick. Just be very, very careful. You're running your lawn equipment or anything like that. Don't leave it on the dry grass while that motor's hot. Move it over to the driveway and let it cool down on there. Pulling over on the side of the road, same kind of thing. Just use some caution. We've got parts of, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina that are on fire, and we have had fires, serious fires here in Central Florida, in years past in North Florida, and it's not fun. It gets a little scary.
Yeah, well, you all have a great Thanksgiving now.
You too.
And real quickly, my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is smelling the turkey in the oven, the aroma.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh.
Yeah, y'all are going to make me hungry.
That's all. It's going to be just
food from now through Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be the conversation. All right, let's go back to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you all doing?
Real good. Real good.
Okay. I have a question, a couple maybe pointers on planting Lecanto kale. I've got 6 small containers.
Oh.
And anything special to do?
To do for planting kale? Not really. I mean, are these all individual plants? Or
yes.
Okay. Just give them enough room. I would say make sure you space them about 10 inches apart to allow them to have enough airspace.
Okay. Is this a good time to put them in?
Oh, yeah. Kale likes the cool weather. It actually, all of your greens seem to sweeten up or bring out their better flavor when you've had some chilly weather.
Okay, and it seemed like the Lecanto was a whole lot easier to deal with than the leafier ones.
Is it more of a, I'm not familiar with the name on that one, is it a more flat-leafed?
Yeah, it's I think they call it dinosaur kale.
Okay.
It's like one big leaf. It doesn't have the little individual things on it.
Oh, okay. So it's just, it's not as lobed or anything like that. It's just a smoother leaf. Yeah, then you may even actually go maybe a foot apart on that. That one sounds like it may have a larger leaf than some of your other kales. But I've always gone like 10 inches to give them enough room because it doesn't hurt them that bad to touch too much, but you do want some air circulation plus competition on nutrition and water.
Okay, anything special on a fertilizer?
No, not really. Just don't don't over fertilize this time of year. Even though it's a cool season crop, they're going to take it up a little bit slower. There's not as much temperature problems to break down that fertilizer. So if you're using a 10-10-10 or if you're using an organic fertilizer, you're still looking at if you well, you put them in the ground this weekend and fertilize then. Per your instructions on the bag that you've got, it might be that you don't fertilize for 2 weeks. It might be 2 months. Just read your directions on whichever you're selecting. If you like an organic fertilizer, it might be applied more often just because it does use up or break down a little more quickly than, say, a synthetic would.
All righty. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and you have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. Carol Ann is here for a full hour, as always, and so that means we've got 32 minutes left. If you want to squeeze one in right now, that would be fine. The number is 622-9622. You'll probably have to wait for the answer at the other side of the break. But
it could be. Or if we've got a second right now, what I'll do is, a couple of weeks ago, we did have a question on how to take care of nut sedge in Bahia grass.
Oh, yes. I remember.
And I felt bad that I was not able to get back on and give an answer on that. But I have one. So that's a good thing. Basagran is the chemical that you'll be looking for. And that can be used on a lot of different ones of our turf grasses, on established turf. And it looks like that the Basagran is in Sedgehammer. So if you can find a product, Sedgehammer would be your trade name. Basagran's your chemical name, or maybe even your Basagran is actually possibly your trade name, and then your more of like your brand name kind of thing would be your Sedgehammer. And this can be, it's a great, it's a pretty good herbicide, as it can be used on your turf as well as sprayed over certain ornamental plants. So if you've got need any more information, just check out Basagran, the label PDF, or Sedgehammer. and read the label.
All right, we're up against the break at the bottom of the hour, so let's take that break and we'll be back. It looks like about a 3-minute break. So we'll be right back in about 3 minutes, and your phone calls are welcome. 622-9622. We'll be right back with Carol Ann.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Many families in Chattanooga, Tennessee in mourning after a bus crash which left 5 elementary school children dead, their bus driver under arrest.
Yesterday was the worst day that we have had for Woodmore and for Hamilton County schools that I can recall in my life.
Dr. Kirk Kelly with the Hamilton County school system, 3 fourth graders, 1 first grader, and a kindergartner were killed. The driver, Jonthony Walker, has been charged with 5 counts of vehicular homicide. President-elect Trump says he wants the U.S. to quit the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now, reaction from one of the largest economies in the treaty.
Japan's prime minister saying if the next U.S. administration pulls out, it will render the free trade deal meaningless for the 10 other nations that signed it. Shinzo Abe saying it would upset what he called the balance of benefits, and that is why TPP cannot be renegotiated.
Fox Radio's Alistair Ranklin, Fox News. We report, you decide.
Holiday shopping can be a real hassle. As if dealing with the mall wasn't challenging enough, it's almost impossible to find something people both want and need. I'm David McNeil, owner of WeatherTech, and I have the perfect gift idea this holiday season: WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech floor liners are laser measured to perfectly fit and protect the vehicle's carpeting from spills as well as dirt, snow, slush, and salt. And the best part is, WeatherTech floor liners slide right into the footwell of the vehicle, so there's no assembly required. WeatherTech floor liners are made with American pride, right here in the USA, so you know you're getting the highest quality. This year, give the gift of protection with WeatherTech car mats and floor liners, and you won't even have to go to the mall. Find out how you can get WeatherTech protection delivered right to your door by shopping online at WeatherTech.com or calling 1-800-CAR-MATS. Happy holidays!
The Ad Council.
Experience Christmas at Gaylord Palms, presented by Fujifilm Instax, November 18th through January 1st. Enjoy spectacular holiday decor, dining, and entertainment, including ice, with an all-new theme featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas, Cirque Dreams Unwrapped Stage Show, breakfast with Charlie Brown and Friends, Alpine Rush snow tubing, and much more. It's everything Christmas in one extraordinary place. Tickets and overnight packages, including priority extra cool hour admission to ice, are on sale now at Christmas@GaylordPalms.com.
Christmas time is here, and this holiday season, Gaylord Palms puts a brand new twist on a Christmas classic. It's Ice, presented by Pepsi, featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas by Charles Schulz, November 18th through January 1st. See the whole Peanuts gang carved in over 2 million pounds of colorful ice, including Snoopy's decorated doghouse, and dancing at the holiday play rehearsal. Your awe-inspiring experience concludes with the wonder of the nativity in ice. For tickets and packages, visit Christmas@GaylordPalms.com.
Are you a list maker? Got your day planner laid out to structure your day? Well, here's something to add to your list. Make time for something really important. Visit Highland Memorial Park, because how you prepare for that moment is so important. Why Highland? Sure, it's a beautiful place, but aside from the beauty and the quiet reflection, practical people will appreciate the many options. Take a tour and make some serious plans. The Highland staff will confidentially show you all options and payment plans. Call today, 369-1020. Highland Memorial Park. Peace and reflection for your family.
This winter, Life South Community Blood Centers is asking donors to give from the heart. Winter is always a challenging time to meet the needs of our local hospitals, but the need is great. 1 out of every 7 patients entering a hospital needs blood. Keisha was one of those patients. She needed a blood transfusion immediately after giving birth. That transfusion gave her a second chance at life, allowing Keisha to hold her baby for the first time. So give from the heart this winter and donate blood with Life South today. For more information, visit www.lifesouth.org.
Next Generation MD is the future of healthcare now. Listen in the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to learn how the future in PRP treatments are here in our area. Find out the many ways that Dr. Juan Jordan, MD, Charles Brooks, NP, and case manager Mark Shaw have brought the family medicine practice to a new level. Hear from the very people that benefit from the fine work they have done in this field. Next Generation MD, every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source. WOCA is teaming up with Florida Kids Helping Kids to bring a little Christmas joy to the many homeless children in Marion County. WOCA is proud to offer our location as a drop-off point for your new and usable toys at the WOCA studios here in the Paddock Mall. Mornings, Monday through Friday till December 16th, when Florida Kids Helping Kids will come by to pick up the toys to give to the children. Florida Kids Helping Kids and WOCA, making Christmas a little brighter.
Merry Christmas!
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Beautiful Tuesday morning. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. The show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann. And if you have a question for Carol Ann, and I know the phone was ringing during the break, so feel free to call. The number is 622-9622. We'll take the calls as they come in. And well, welcome back.
Yeah, we're back.
Did Joe show you a picture on his phone?
Of a tree that's growing up in his yard, just trying to find out whether or not he can get rid of it or not. It's just simply a cherry laurel. They're kind of a weed tree, unless you've got them in an area that you don't mind, because they will come up. If you cut them down, they will come back up. They'll make more sides of the stems, and that they will come up in the middle of shrubbery and things like that. And then once they're in the middle of the shrubbery, it's hard to get rid of them. You keep cutting them off, but it's hard to put something down to or on them to kill it, to keep it from coming back.
What did you call it? What's it called?
A cherry laurel.
A cherry laurel, but doesn't produce cherries.
No. It's just, they're a nice looking tree, but they're not a high value tree. Does
that mean small when the word cherry is attached to a tree? Does it mean small?
No, I think it's just, no.
This has the word cherry added to it.
It's just that type of
What
laurel.
tree grows the maraschino cherry? The maraschino cherry tree?
It would be a cherry tree, a regular cherry tree, but I don't know if I don't know if the maraschino is the process.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's the cherry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not real. It might
because
be
when you get cherries, like a jar of maraschino cherries,
right?
They're smaller than if you just get cherries like from the
the
produce.
Bing cherries are what you find in the produce department, or the Rainier cherries are those kind of pink and creamy or yellow ones. The Bings are your dark red ones that are, they have a pit in them, and the maraschinos have been pitted. And then you have pie cherries, which are a little bit, they're usually a little more tart. That's the kind of tree we had in my backyard when I was a kid.
And what is it? Rhubarb that sort of kind of is like a cherry pie? Is that
rhubarb they mix with strawberry.
Oh, strawberry
is what they do, because the rhubarb's real tart, and so you mix it with strawberry to sort of mellow the tart, sweeten that up a little bit. Kind of counter. Then get your sweet and sour together. But get away from food here
for a minute.
for a few minutes. We'll go. This is always the time of year the poinsettias are all over the place. And as I try to tell people, if you've got you've got an event, you've got your card club that you have, or your garden club, whomever that you're doing a dinner with them, and you're not doing it for a couple of weeks and such like that, realize that most of the stores get their poinsettias in bulk deliveries. It's not that they get a little bit once a week all the way up to the week before Christmas. My particular store, the company I work for, our last delivery is like the 1st of December, because we need to sell through them all before the 24th. We don't want poinsettias on the 26th. They have no value at that point, or that people don't want them unless they're going to put them in the ground. You're past the gift giving, you're past the decorating for your church or your office, you're past your Christmas parties where you're using them. So if you're looking for things like that, you may actually do better getting them here. Yes, it seems early. You can care for them better than the retailer can. You can bring them home and put them in a cool, bright room. You can water that. If you're getting, say, 3 dozen because you're giving them as gifts in your office or to clients, you can take care of those 3 dozen a lot easier than I can take care of your 3 dozen, because I have 1,500 more that I have to take care of.
Right, sure.
And I had, I don't know how many that just came in yesterday, and I've got another delivery Wednesday, and then I've got another delivery on I think that following Monday, and then my final one is like the 1st of December, and that's it. I won't get any more poinsettias. At least not not the regular ones. There might be some others that'll come in as a tabletop display, or very large ones that would be put maybe on your doorstep. Because right now you've got everything from your little tiny pints that make great table placements, or on your desk in the office. We've got, the 2 quarts, the 3 quarts, there's table placements. But you can take care of these plants much better than your local retailer can, even if you're looking at a couple of dozen plants. Because like I said, all they need, at this time, in the location, this time of year, put them in some place that's kind of, away from drafts. But they say away from chilly air. Not hot in there, but not cold either. They can be they can retain their color much longer if you keep them cooler. Make sure that they're getting a little bit of water when they begin to dry out on the top, but don't let them sit in water. Soggy poinsettia is a dead poinsettia. So let them dry out just a little bit between watering. Give them a little water. If they're sitting in a saucer, drain that saucer out. If they're in foil paper and you're going to save these plants for gifts or for decoration, you might take that foil paper off while you're caring for them, maybe, just if you want to, just so that you're not getting and holding water in the bottom of that. It's an option. You can mist them, say once or twice a week when you're keeping them, but get them now, make sure they look healthy. They are non-toxic. They are not harmful to you, your children, or your pets. I wouldn't suggest ingesting them because they're not considered edible. They have what has always been the problem is the white sap in that. That white milky sap is a latex. Many people are sensitive to that, and some people are allergic to it. That's where the poisonous portion came in. They're not really, it's some people, my mother was allergic to latex. So if she would have gotten that on her, she would have had a reaction to it. Yeah. I'm a little sensitive to where if I get some on it, I might get a little rashy spot. But it's gone.
No big deal.
By the time I go wash up, afterwards, and it's all taken care of. So, just keeping that in mind. You still don't want to put them where the cats and the children are going to, get to them, because you don't want them broken. You don't want the possibility of sensitivity. Yeah.
The phone lines are open if you want to call Carol Ann. The number is 622-9622. Of course, the questions are about gardening but food. I mean, 2 days before Thanksgiving, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Oh, hey, if you've grown your own sweet potatoes and you harvested, which I should have put pictures on of the ones I harvested, did harvest some sweet potatoes and harvested them a few weeks ago, because they take that time to rest.
I didn't know that.
Bring the humidity up. You keep the humidity and they sweeten up. If you just pull them out of the ground and cook them up, they're not going to have that flavor that you're accustomed to.
Do you know we had this story the other day about the first Thanksgiving?
Okay.
One of the food items was stewed pumpkins or boiled pumpkins.
Yeah.
Hello? That doesn't sound good at all.
Well, if you think of squash, you've had just cut squash, but usually you figure old-fashioned cooking was not necessarily probably the most palatable, though it was, just.
Do you know what the biggest meat item was?
Probably venison.
Yes, venison. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Although they had a lot of birds on the list.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of quail or
goose and
pheasant.
Yeah.
Whatever could be taken down either with musket or bow and arrow.
And shellfish, too. I guess they were out there. Lobster and
whatever.
Oysters, whatever. Mussels.
Whatever could be gleaned and harvested off the land. That's what you had.
And didn't they, mixing food with gardening, didn't they use, this is what you always learned in school, didn't the Native Americans, the Indians, didn't they show the Pilgrims to put the fish in the ground? And
I think the Pilgrims
How come they didn't know that in Europe? How come they didn't?
Because it wasn't, probably farming and fishing were separate. That when you farmed and you're running your plow with your mule or your ox or whatever, you were getting fertilizer as you went. The native Indian, he wasn't doing that, but he also fished and just took, what do you do with these? Well, you buried them within, and that they found that those added nutrition.
Wow, we're to the break already. All right, we'll take a little break. If you want to call in, you are invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. It looks like the break is another, just about 2 minutes this time. So we'll be right back in 2 minutes with Carol Ann. The number again, 622-WOCA. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, sunshine and becoming a bit warmer, the high 72 to 76. Mainly clear Tuesday night, lows ranging from the 50s inland to 62 along the coast. Wednesday will be a nice day with sunshine and some clouds. However, there may be a shower in spots right at the coast, the high 75 to 79. And for Thanksgiving Day, sunshine mixed with clouds, high 77 to 81. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
'Tis the season to be giving.
And at WOCA The Source, we have teamed up with Florida Kids Helping Kids
To make sure homeless children in Marion County have a great Christmas.
And you can help.
Yes, WOCA at the Paddock Mall is a drop-off site. Bring new or gently used dolls, skateboards, jewelry sets,
Footballs, basketballs, musical instruments,
and anything else a child would like.
Share your blessings.
Children will be able to choose a gift for another child.
And Florida Kids Helping Kids will wrap the gift.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all of us here at WOCA The Source.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Dogs are experts at reading our body language and the emotional cues in our voice, and they like to do things that encourage a positive response from us. If you would like to ace your next job interview, do not try to be absolutely perfect. Sharing something slightly negative actually makes your good points look even better. Gosh, I just don't think about it enough. If you're worried about germs, then you need to be cleaning off your debit and credit cards.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
All right, 14 minutes before 10 o'clock, Carol Ann Baldwin is here. If you have a question about gardening, you're invited to call. The number is 622-9622. You don't have to have a question, by the way.
No.
Just say hi. Hey, you know what I'm growing? You know what's working out for me?
Yeah, this is what I've been doing. Yeah, that works. Always works. Just because of the holidays and stuff. And we'll go over these, throughout between now and Christmas. I'm sure if anybody's got questions on them, I need to probably find all my holiday websites on all our history and lore and that. But okay, we're going to go to the phones and
go to
then
phones.
we can
Okay.
talk to Christmas cactus.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann. So on bananas.
Yeah.
They've been hanging now for about maybe a month and a half, and they're still very green.
Right.
This is my first year with bananas. Are they going to ripen, or are they going to fall off and wait till next year to come back? Or
well, once that banana,
let them ripen, or?
The banana tree that has the stalks of bananas on it, that tree will not make bananas again. So that's the one thing. And your bananas aren't going to ripen on the plant. So your best thing to do, and I would probably let them grow as much as they can, even though with the cooler temperatures, they're probably not going to do much more, is you can take your loppers and cut that long stem off of there, cut the hands of bananas off, and put them in a large brown paper bag. And you can divide these up into several different bags if you've got a lot of them, and they will ripen in those bags, because that's how we get Larry's.
Is it 1 week or 10 days?
It's it's hard to say, because you might get one or two that'll ripen, right away.
And I put an apple in there.
Oh, that's right. We also did the apple in the bag too, and that sort of brought that about. The ethylene gas given off by the apple helped to ripen those bananas.
And they were good.
Yes, they were. They tasted like banana. Very nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you. You broke up a little bit there. Thank you for the call. Is he still there?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what first time.
Because we weren't sure.
Was it 2 years ago, I think?
I think it was 2 years ago, yeah.
And we put the bananas in the paper bag.
We let them.
And I had the control bananas that were not in the bag.
Right.
And I put an apple. This was per your instructions. Yeah. And my gosh, they were delicious.
Yes, they were.
And I seem to remember they had
they had a good.
Some were quicker than others.
Sure. And as with anything, some things are going to ripen a little sooner than others, and it could be the outer ones are ripening because that was the first banana to form.
They weren't pretty though. Remember?
No, they weren't. They were right. They were not your Dole banana, your Chiquita banana that we all see in the supermarket. They were short and fat, but they had, and like I said, I'm not a big banana person, but I liked it. It was nice. Yeah.
I've never heard anybody else say I'm not a big banana person.
I'm not into banana.
I should put that on a T-shirt. I'm not a big banana person.
I'm not the big banana here, yeah. But no, it's but I cared for the flavor of them as well. They were nice. They were
really good.
Nice texture to them, nice flavor to them.
The reason I was surprised at how good they were is because we had banana plants at the Cascades.
Right.
And Dave, we just mentioned Dave Revere, he brought in some of the green bananas.
Right.
And they never really ripened, so I tried one. They were horrible.
Right.
But I didn't know, put an apple...
That they weren't really ripened, right. They
Yeah.
weren't, right. So, but now... We'll get everybody on that. They will be harvesting their bananas. But that banana tree of his, now that it's got bananas on it, that one in itself will not make bananas. I just let them, some people cut the whole tree down immediately. To me, it's wintertime. I don't cut them down that quick. I let nature knock them back.
Yeah.
Because it's going to fall over anyway, and some of those are pretty big. And I don't know if you ever noticed how heavy a banana plant is. Banana plants, they're all water.
Right.
And when you go to cut them back in the springtime, and if you hit them with a machete and your machete's not sharp, it's like hitting them with a baseball bat, and you get very wet when you whack them.
You know what else I noticed about them? Now, I don't know if this is across the board, but in mine anyway.
Yeah.
Living inside were these
carpenter ants.
Huge ants, yes, very big ants.
Yeah. And that's, it's I don't know if it's just a symbiotic relationship because they don't seem to hurt the plant.
Right.
And that whether or not that's just the nest location because it offers moisture and protection from everything else.
Yeah.
But just one of those kind of things. Oh, one thing, just thinking of that is I had an email this morning that I almost forgot about, and it was talking about your Christmas trees. Some people are getting their Christmas trees either now or this coming weekend, and getting them set up or at least getting them home. I always tell people when you get that Christmas tree, bring it home. Get you a bucket of warm water, pretty good hot water, not just tepid. Get it good and hot out of the bathtub. And when you make your cut on there, then put that tree in there. Stand it outside in the shady area in the yard, against the shed. But stand it up so that it has a chance to relax, and it should take up a lot of that water. You figure the Christmas trees here in Florida are shipped a long distance. They're generally cut probably a couple weeks ago, so that they know how many trees they have in order to fill their orders correctly and that. And before you bring it in the house or even before you do that cut, shake that thing real good. There could be, critters in there. I mean, they shake them.
Imagine
or
that.
whatever. Yeah, there could be a spider. Well, not those kind, but insect pests, and they may not necessarily hurt anything in your house, but and they good chance that they die before they had a chance to do anything. But here in Florida, our homes aren't kept warm, heated constantly. We turn our furnaces on and off throughout the winter season because it warms up. We open windows. So sometimes pests will survive here where they wouldn't in an area where you'd have your heat on all the time. Shake that tree out good. Put it in the warm water. When you put it in the tree stand, if it's been if you've let that sit for a few days, you might even put another fresh cut. Put it in tree stand, again, warm water. And then I use just tepid. I don't turn the cold water faucet on when I fill a tree. I turn it on to the warm. No plant likes cold water, and the warm water is taken up better.
Yeah.
Some of the ones have a nutritional packet. Sometimes they'll come with it that you can dump in there. It's supposed to hold those capillaries open to allow that tree to take in more water. Keep the tree watered. You don't want that tree to dry out. Becomes a fire hazard. Plus, they drop needles all over the living room.
I know the one behind you did. It was they were all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah, they really were. All right, and it's an artificial tree.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a phone call. I'm sorry, not a break. A phone call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, it's you again, real quick. You're talking about shaking your Christmas tree and all that kind of stuff. My neighbor last year didn't shake his tree. Brought the tree in the house. Had it up, and about a week after they had it up, the dog was full of ticks. It turned out the Christmas tree was loaded with ticks, and they were in the carpeting, and he had to call somebody to come in and spray the house and everything. What a mess that was. But you got to be, like you say, careful what you can bring in the house with a Christmas tree.
And don't spray your Christmas tree with pesticide. I mean, that's not going to be what you're going to want to do, because that pesticide residual, you figure you're handling your tree, your children and your pets are coming into contact with it. Don't spray that tree down with pesticide. If you wanted to blast it out with a garden hose, you could do that, and let that dry. You're getting ready, the house ready or something like that. You've made your cut, put it in the bucket, blast it off, stand it in the shade, allow it to dry, and that would be another way to help reduce the incidences of insect pests being brought into the home.
Right. When you put your tree in a bucket, you carve a little bit of the bark off and expose the tree so you can get some more water?
Just the fresh cut on the bottom, and then if you had to nip off any of the little lower limbs that are going to have to come off to fit in the trunk, to fit it in the stand. But if you may need to trim that trunk anyway just to fit it in your stand. So just base it on that. Give yourself enough so that tree will balance too when you do put it in the stand, and don't want to make it too skinny.
Is there anything you can add to the water that'll help keep the needles fresh and not
some say a couple of aspirin dissolved in the water, and again that means you're going to have good hot water, or you're going to have to crush those up. I've heard 7-Up. They're actually, some of the trees come with like a little packet. It's probably like a floral additive that you would put in there, and that does help keep those capillaries open. But I found personally that just starting out with warmer water and a fresh cut seems to, and don't let that bowl dry out. Be diligent on it. They make a funny looking funnel that you don't have to crawl on your hands and knees under, because you can put that down in there and be able to pour from the top. It might be worth that $5 or $6 investment on something like that.
My personal experience is I'm surprised how much water a good-sized Christmas tree will suck up in a matter of a couple of days.
Yeah. They'll take in a couple of quarts of water initially, and you just keep that full. You reduce your fire hazard. You reduce some of your needle loss.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Got 4 minutes left. If you want to squeeze a phone call in, the number again, 622-9622. Ask about fertilizer, maybe gift-giving ideas.
Right. And here's another one, the Christmas cactus. Everybody loves the Christmas cactus during the holiday season. And again, they come into the stores all pretty much at the same time. Most of them are in bud, not necessarily flowering. And they're really a low maintenance plants. They're in the cactus family. They don't take a lot of water. This time of year, you've bought it as a gift. They're not going to use a lot of water this time of year, and they don't use fertilizer at this time of year unless you want all those buds to fall off. Overwatering them will also throw all those buds off. Put it in a nice bright room right now. When you bring it home, care for it, but don't overwater it.
And you have another phone call. Hey. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, gang. It's Crazy Ken, your favorite listener.
Hey.
You mentioned banana trees. Some have bananas that some won't have bananas. Some will have edible bananas. I'd love to have a tree that gives me edible bananas. Is there a certain type or variety, or one that you would recommend for growing here in Ocala?
There's several different ones that'll do okay here. You just have to realize a banana tree takes about 18 months of not freezing for it to produce bananas. There's a few dwarf varieties out on the market. They're like the Cavendish, or the little, what do they call it, ladyfinger bananas that are a lot smaller. They're almost like those little baby bananas you find in the grocery store that they market towards children. And things like that, but those will do well. The dwarfs, you could actually put them into something like a big whiskey barrel, that if it was going to be, to keep them from freezing in the wintertime, you could always put that on a hand cart, roll it up in the garage or carport, and protect it. Or as my neighbor, I have a new neighbor now, and they planted a few trees. They took their big Easy Up canopy that you might use for a picnic or something like that, set that up over top of their stuff, and then enclosed that in their plastic or tarpaulins in order to keep the heat in the other day, and you can undo those, the curtains around, and there your trees are getting the just natural air after that. That's how he was protecting his, which I thought was a really great idea.
That's clever.
Yeah. Thought it was a really good idea. Or even a beach umbrella where you can then drape something else over top of that in order to keep it. But the smaller trees, the dwarfs, I think are like a 4 to 6 foot tree. So actually a fairly small banana tree. And the other ones, if you're putting them in a protected location where they still get enough light, enough water and things like that, you can usually protect them and get bananas, if not every year, every other year, every couple years.
All right, and it won't outgrow that whiskey barrel? I can leave it in there indefinitely?
Probably not indefinitely. You might, after a few years, be pulling them up out of there and taking some of that off and doing something else. And I'm hearing the music, and we're counting down for the end of the day.
So we got to go. Have a great Thanksgiving, Carol Ann.
Thank you, Larry. You too.
Thank you for doing this.
And everybody else out there, happy Thanksgiving.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. President-elect Trump laying out plans for his first 100 days in a YouTube video.